All right, folks, welcome to a bit of an impromptu live stream, and it has been a little bit of a while since I've done really anything on the channel, aside from like sporadic uploading of reviews from ages ago. I do rarely. I'll probably, because I'm off tomorrow, after I finish tonight, might get some uploaded, get some just staged for the rest of the week, and just basically upload what I have, really. Before the stream started, we had Thomas, aka Window Beer Reviews. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Says, hi everyone, please like and share. Well, he does a much better job than I do at promoting my own channel. So greatly appreciated, Thomas. Hope you're doing well. I do enjoy your early morning posts on Instagram showing your cup of coffee. Nothing better than a good cup of coffee in the morning. Well, maybe a nice coffee porter or coffee stout. I don't know. Anyway, hope you're doing well, sir. And yeah, I haven't got the setup that I usually have with like the MacBook with like the website links, so I can talk about like the beer and blah 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 blah. Mainly because it's pretty much last minute this stream. I just felt like I wanted to do something tonight, and I didn't have anything prepared for Libido Mania. I need to get that sorted, so that might be next week. And yeah, so I thought I brought this beer out of the cellar, aka the cupboard, facing me, with the intention of having it yesterday because it was a glorious day. I barbecued a couple of family members round, but I never got around to doing it because I did a bit of a relapse, folks, and I bought some BrewDog. With all that's going on, well, it's a double whammy. So I was just drinking the BrewDog, really. Had some Hazy Jane and some of the beers from Beer 52's most recent box, and a few cans of San Miguel with my younger brother while we were watching football. And fucking Austria scored too many goals, so I couldn't. My bet didn't come through because they scored one too many goals. I had them to win, but I had them to either win 1-0, 2-0, or 2-1. But hey ho, you win some, you lose some. I've been losing a lot of my bets, but I don't bet regularly. But yeah, Sky Bets let me down with the promoted accumulators. Anyway, there's a moral there, folks. So yeah, it was just a nice day, and I just love having a good can of lager every now and then. Do you know what I mean? I don't need to have complex beers and uber hazy IPAs and fruited sours all the time. Mainly because I don't fucking have any beers because I'm absolutely skint at the moment. Luckily, it's payday in less than a week, so yeah. Although it's been nice not just spending all my money on beer, even though I've probably spent all my money up to that point on beer and a couple of days out and buying films and stuff. So yeah. Anyway, and we've got James, Mr. Rodwell. Hi, Peter. Good evening, James. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Very much looking forward to sharing a few drinks with you, my friend. We'll have to get that sorted once we've both been double jabbed. Speaking of which, of course they were going to push it back. Of course they were. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's not going to affect my life directly, but I don't want to get bogged down into that sort of talk because you can literally have your channel taken down for having an opinion on the C word and the V word. But yeah, it's just we knew that they'd fuck us over again. But as I said, it doesn't affect me directly. But I'm not in like the hospitality industry. I'm not in any of these sorts of businesses. Even though for some reason weddings, they're not going to be affected. But drinking standing up, you're not allowed to do, and obviously nightclubs and stuff. But hopefully it just doesn't lead down a dark path. But anyway, that's enough of that talk. Don't know why I got onto that, but anyway. So James says definitely. Was that Goldrake? You have to excuse me. I'm going to use this phone to read comments because my other phone, the battery's dead, and I couldn't be bothered getting YouTube up on the MacBook because I'm lazy. Quality content. Evening, first time on here, but seeing quite a few of your vids. Yep, I knew it'd happen too. Oh, well, thank you for joining me, and you're very welcome here anytime. What's everyone drinking tonight, by the way? I know it's the first day of the week, but yeah. I've already had another can of Hazy Jane when I came in this evening after work. But yeah, thank you for summer, and I hope you. I say that I've hardly uploaded any videos these past couple of months, but I'm going to pull my finger out and get some more videos uploaded. But thank you for stopping by. And then we've got Raggy. Good evening, Raggy. The legend that is says, "Evening, matey. Watching footy and eating dinner." Oh, sounds good. I can't remember who's playing tonight. I was going to put a bet on, but I forgot. And Craig from Kent Beer Reviews. Good evening, sir. Says cheers. And Goldrake says, "Thanks, just having a Krombacher. Need a cold Pilsner down me." Sounds good to me. I've not had Krombacher for ages. Sounds delish. So, yeah, a little bit of a contentious brewery at the moment. And that's why, again, I didn't want to, go to the whole lengths of doing like in-depth. Oh, here's the website, here's the Untapped and that sort of stuff. Because we're going over to Hills Farmstead, and there's been in this whole sort of shit show expose of some of the absolutely atrocious things happening within the beer industry. I didn't want to sort of, promote, even though I don't know the full story of the Hill Farmstead stuff. I'm not going to lie. I keep popping in every now and then when people are sharing stuff on Instagram, but we need to talk about it. It needs to be addressed. Things need to change, and there's no place for that nonsense in what should be. And, it is a very inclusive community, so it's awful to see these things happening. It shouldn't happen anywhere or under any circumstances. But yeah, but this isn't a beer that I bought recently or anything like that. This was when I was part of the Mikkeller Beer Club. I can't even remember when. Well, it was bottled on March the 19th, so I'd imagine it would have been within a few months of the actual bottling date when Mikkeller had it imported. So then they could include it in the Beer Club box. I do miss the Mikkeller Beer Club. And I really enjoyed the 1 month I had of the 2 Old Beer Club as well. But don't worry, I've got Brewdog and Friends and Beer 52, although Beer 52 has been pretty good these past few months. And after I've received my next box from Brewdog, I'm going to be cancelling that. I can't say I won't buy Brewdog in the future and I won't go to their bars because the bars have some really good guest beers on. And also, just a cheap 4-pack of cans. Although, that being said, with what I have near me, there's a bit more range now, so I don't have to depend on Brewdog. Plus, they've completely bollocksed up Elvis juice for no good reason whatsoever. But hey-ho. So, Spain-Sweden tonight. Ooh, sounds like a good one. Lukewarm Aldi Rheinbacher Budget Monday beer. Something quite romantic about that. A romanticised image. I mean, I've not had Rhiney for ages. And Raggy says, treat everyone with respect no matter what job. Exactly. I always love when Raggy, you do the videos talking about things that you don't expect us to talk about in the beer tube community. And I think we should. And we've got Paul from PA Brew News who says, cheers, cutie. Cheers, Baba. I still have all your beer here. We need to get that sorted. I need to work something out with Adam so I can get it to you efficiently and in a cost-effective yet safe manner. But yeah, I only had Lost Lager from Brewdog. That's a bog standard lager. Better than Carling. Oh, definitely. I don't mind Lost Lager. Now they make it from surplus bread, don't they? Or have they always done that? I'm not too sure. And Thomas says carbonated 7 Up. And Craig says, I've not had Rhiney since last summertime. Yeah, I think that's roughly when I had it. I've also got some garlic bread with some hot sauce on, because I just felt like having garlic bread. But I'm not going to eat it now because I've got to do a professional job of picking out flavours in a beer. But anyway, so this is a bottle of Anna from Hill Farmstead, which is Farmstead ale brewed with honey and dry hopped with Motica. Anna, 1902 to 1993, was our grandfather's sister. Hill Farmstead Brewery rests upon the land that was once home to her and 13 siblings. We packaged this version of the Farmstead Ale for our friends at Mikkeller in Copenhagen, Denmark. This variation was dry hopped with Motica hop grown by Freestyle Farms in Upper Mutier, New Zealand. I'm not saying that. Why did I say it with like a sort of French twang? I don't know. And naturally carbonated. Hill Farmstead Brewery is the culmination of travel and insight, of friendships and explorations, and of realizing a sense of one's place. Upon the hand-hewn land of our forebearers, we honour 8 generations of Greensboro ancestry by thoughtfully engaging with our heritage and with our distinctive beers. This offering is our efforts to revive, diversify, ironic, and prolong the memory of the Hill Farmstead. Share, consider, enjoy, and yeah, there you go. You've got the little motif for the Mikkeller Beer Club there. So I can't think off the top of my head what Hill Farmstead beers I've actually had up to this point. I don't know. I don't think I really have, because I'm not too I don't get excited about like farmhouse beers and wild, wild fermentation sort of stuff. It's just not my sort of thing, really. Although I know Hill Farmstead do lagers, they do all sorts of different styles, but the ones you usually see here are like, a farmhouse ale with peaches, and it's like, that to me is like, it's just not what I want to drink, really. Not that I won't try it every now and then, and those bottles are perfect when you've got bottle shows. Speaking of which, I'm going to be dedicating this to my wonderful beer tube brethren, who I do genuinely consider members of the family, really. I've been quite distant now on the live streams for some reason. I'm not too sure as to why, but I've started to get back into the swing of things. And of course, they all met up in Bristol. We had Craig from Kent Beer Reviews, Jake from Jaco Beer, Harry from Blue Nose Beer Reviews, Adam from Mersey Beers, Rob and his good lady from Hobsy. Who else was there? I know the day before, Rory, the legend that is, as well. I'm sure, were there a couple of other people who met up? I don't know, but if you go to Craig's channel, you can see them in the left-handed Giant Brew Pub. And there's also the Bath Ales live stream, which I'm still watching. And I was intending to go because it was the Bristol Craft Beer Festival, which unfortunately had to be pushed back due to the council and the C word. But that's not the reason why I didn't go. I couldn't go anyway because my work wouldn't let me have the Saturday off. So I just wouldn't have been able to have gone, and I was absolutely gutted. It pretty much put me in a little bit of a depression. I'm not going to lie, because I love those guys to bits. I've got Liverpool with Adam and Harry, Blue Nose, and I think also Bullman's going to be making an appearance in Liverpool. So that's going to be awesome. And then in the same month, like a couple of weeks after, I'm going to be meeting up with Craig in Manchester, because he's going to the Manchester Beer Festival. And Adam's going to be there. And I think Rob is going to be there as well, with his good lady, who I'm yet to meet. So yeah, I'm looking forward to those meetups. And then in August, I'm going to be in London as well. I was going to be going to the London Craft Beer Festival, but I'm shit with money and I probably won't be able to afford it, because the accommodation in London it's going to be fucking astronomical. I need to get that sorted. I need to get my train fare sorted. But I'll be in London for a few days nonetheless, and sharing some good beers with some even better people. So yeah, I dedicate this to those guys, and I would have brought this with me if I was there. Although I haven't really got any interesting bottle share beers, really. Let's see. Raggy says, I've actually bought 2 Rhinebeck tonight. Should be interesting. I hope you enjoy it. And Farmhouse, not my cup of tea. Yeah, I mean, I totally respect it. It's a very hard type style of beer to pull off. And for all the faults that have come out recently, Hills Farmstead have a reputation for a reason. And I do apologise if I miss people's comments. I'm purely going off what's shown on my StreamYard. And I know sometimes it'll miss some comments from the YouTube stream. And the YouTube stream will sometimes miss comments from that stream. Although I can see people who have typed something dickish and then retracted the comments because they stay up on the StreamYard. But you can abuse me any way you want to. I'm nearly 18 stone, so I've got thick skin. Anyway, I've waffled on for way too long. So yeah, this is a bit of a special beer. I'm not too sure how good how long the hops or the hop character would have lasted. I'd like to think that this has been stored okay. It's been out of the sun, and this room doesn't really get too warm, so. And it's in the fridge, but it's gushing slightly. That was slightly in slow motion. I could have easily avoided that. But hey ho, I'll just wipe the floor, it's fine. And for a fancy beer, I used a bit of a fancy glass, even though that brewery's a little point of contention at the moment. Good old Cloudwater. Let's see. Just opened a Perlenbacher, skunked as fuck. Sometimes I don't mind the skunkiness of a lager. But sometimes they're fucking awful. Absolutely awful when you get a really badly skunked lager. But sometimes, especially when it's something like Desperados or Corona, there's something about a slightly badly kept bottle of that that's a little bit satisfying. There's no prejudice with beer on the Clueless Drinker channel. I spent, the best part of 7 years in Germany, so I'm surrounded by some of the greatest lagers in the world. So I've got a lot of time for a lager, even if it's a lager that was based in one country, but it's just contract brewed to a much lesser quality here in the UK. I mean, Red Stripe, I'm a big fan of Red Stripe. I love Pabst. Bud Light is my lager at the moment. Do love a good Bud Light. It's like I still don't understand how Bud Light somehow has more body, more character, and more flavour than the normal Budweiser. I don't understand it. But hey ho, it is what it is. So the beer actually calmed down a little bit. It's golden as you like, pin bright, looks absolutely lovely. A little bit of a haze there. It's always got that sort of like lemon juice, freshly squeezed lemon juice. Let's see. It smells decent to be. It does, doesn't it? There's something oddly satisfying about the smell of a skunky lager. But I hope it actually still tastes okay. But yeah, a lovely looking beer indeed. Almost has the look of a lager, actually. Like an unfiltered Keller style lager. Nice condensed 1 finger worth of white head. This place is so dusty, it needs a hoover and a good clean. But I'm too lazy. You lived in Germany. Bet that was brilliant. I really want to go there sometime. It was awesome. Ended a bit ugly. But while I was there, beautiful. We're in Bavaria, in Regensburg, just outside. Well, it's sort of like you can easily get to Bamberg, you can easily get to Nuremberg, you can easily get to Munich. And one of the greatest beer experiences of my life was, even though that day I lost my phone, but the next day I went back and a young girl had found it. my ex at the time, or my girlfriend at the time, had to get in touch with her and say, "Oh, my boyfriend is going to be coming back to Munich," and she was like, so fucking scummy. I even went to it even sounds disgusting because I had to message her while I was in Munich because I went to a computer cafe talking to a 14-year-old girl to arrange a meetup just so I could get my phone. And what made it worse was my girlfriend at the time said, "Well, that's a really big thing. Do you know what I mean? To keep hold of a phone and then get no, was it a phone or a camera? No, it's my phone. For them to find it, get contacted, and then to be honest and keep hold of it, that's a big thing." And she said, "Oh, why don't you get her some chocolate or something?" How fucking suspicious and suspect would that look? But hey ho. But the day before, because my dad had come to visit, we went to the main Augustine. I think it's the Augustiner Braustubel. I think it's called. I can't remember. Davor might have been there because now we met up with James while James visited me in Germany. Well, before he met up with me. But yeah, drinking it straight from the brewery with traditional Bavarian food in an absolutely wonderful beer hall was just the purest beer experience I've ever had, especially the day before having a very traumatic, emotionally annoying experience in Germany. Oh, that was the day, yeah. It was on that same day, and then it was the next day when I met up with a 14-year-old girl in the middle of Munich. But yeah, it was bizarre times. But yeah, highly, highly, highly recommended if you find yourself in Munich. Go to any of Augustina's owned places, and you're gonna get just the best version of. Well, to be honest, Augustina Lager Hell is to me the best beer in the world. Nothing can touch that beer for me. But to have it as fresh as possible, direct from the source, and having amazing food was just chef's kiss. But yeah, good evening. And referring back to Davor, he says, "Good evening, Peter. Really curious about your tonight's beer. It's possible to buy separately from Mikkeller Beer Club. Suck they don't send to Slovenia." Yeah, hopefully. Have they been able to send to Slovenia before? Or is that somewhat recent? Hopefully they can fix the distribution of the beer club boxes. You'd like to think with the fact that they've got the brew pub in London and Rick Astley's pub, they've got presence in London. They'd be able to use that as a way to ship the boxes over. But, it's easier said than done. The fact that some European places are still able to send stuff over, obviously at a bit more of a premium to cover the taxes and yada, yada, yada. But yeah, I think you can buy this. Well, I don't know. I know you can definitely buy Anna. But I think they brewed this as a one-off for the beer club. But it wouldn't surprise me if they'd brew it again or a different beer for Mikkeller. Okay. Let's see. That's pretty awkward, says Goldra. It was. It wasn't awkward at the time because I was like, I really want to get my fucking phone back. But upon reflection, I mean, I ended up having a bit of a day in Munich anyway, going to a few places for a drink. But and going just for a drive on the bus. Just enjoyed being. That's the great thing. That was probably one of the best things about living in Germany, was just the anonymity. Nobody knows who I am. I'm just this person on my own in a city that I've hardly ever been to, never explored. And it was just absolutely fascinating. Beautiful, beautiful place. Expensive as fuck, though, especially if you were looking to live in Germany. Berlin is like much cheaper, and that to me is like the cultural heart of Germany. I've never been, so I can't say it is, but yeah, hoping I can have another trip to Bavaria because I've got a couple of friends who live there, stay with them, and also go to Munich and places like Berlin, Hamburg, that sort of thing. We're talking a lot about Germany, aren't we? Making me salivate, says Drake. And we've got Jimmy O, the legend, who says, now then. An apt comment there, James. He says, I bought Hill Farm said from Brewdog ages ago, says James Rothwell. What's it taste like, says Kent Beer Reviews. What's that scene in Holy Grail? Yeah, get on with it. Get on with it. I need to get people to record segments like that. So when I get to this point in a review where I've waffled on for ages, I can just insert that clip of people just telling me to get on with it. And yeah, you don't get that round my area, full of knobhead chavs. God, same here. Fucking hell. On like scooters and dirt bikes, like driving in the alleys where like kids and old people are like walking to and from. Yeah, that Skelmersdale's a beautiful place. It's surrounded by gorgeous greenery and it's got good access to other places. But I tell you what, there's a real sense of community for the most part, but there ain't half some fucking knobheads who live around here. But hey ho, it is what it is. And we've got Terry, another legend, who says, good evening, Mr. Clueless and all. And Davos says, yeah, we're at Augustina, awesome times. Mikkeller did send Slovenia, but they stopped because of the duty issues. Yeah. So hopefully they can find a workaround for that. Anyway, I think I will adhere to Craig's message and get on with this. Hello, exact same for my time. Where are you based, if you don't mind me asking? And Jimmy asks, hope you're well, mate. Yes, I'm doing fine, thank you. Hope you're doing well too. See you're having a bit of a break from the live streams. And I should, because if you're going to be doing a stream for Sunday, I'm going to have to join. I keep meaning to, but because it's like 10:30, I just end up crashing in bed. But I'm looking forward to replacing the other Peter on the live stream at some point. Plus, I want to be ripped apart by Martin. Anyway, I'm for Black Country, not too far from Harry. Okay. All right, then. Yeah, I think everywhere has the knobheads. But yeah, it's just very fucking annoying. That's a lot of people in a very similar situation would agree. Anyway, so I've waffled on for long enough. I've let the beer settle in the glass. Let the air get to it and aerate, and you let it breathe in the glass. I don't know if you heard that little ticking sound. I put the bottle top back on the bottle, and it was sort of like lifting itself up ever so slightly, but the beer's not rising in the bottle. Interesting. So yeah, it looks good. Let's give it a sniff. It's definitely got that slight funky farmhouse character. Almost has like a lemon juice aroma, like freshly squeezed lemon, or like a sour candied lemon segment. Sweet. Honey, I'm not really getting too much of a sweetness as such. I suppose it is there slightly. The Motica hop, I think that would have faded slightly and developed a little bit more. So it's not like a hoppy aroma, a smelling beer, but I wouldn't imagine it would be in a hoppy smelling beer anyway. But it smells nice. It's got like a nice citrusy, like tanginess to it. Smells really, really nice. Anyway, without any further ado, with my poncy little glass, let's give it a taste. Cheers, all. Ooh. What you don't get on the nose from the honey, you definitely pick it up on the flavour. And there is a little bit of hoppiness there. Not like hoppy as in what you'd expect from like a pale ale, even like a moderately hopped pale ale or IPA. But there's a hoppiness there. Very slight acidity. Not too much, although, because I'm going to probably end up drinking the rest of this bottle this evening, it might repeat on me slightly a little bit later. But the honey sort of like softens that character. There are spicy notes in there. It's tangy. Very easy drinking though. Well, I didn't even say what the ABV was on this. 6.3. Yeah, very easy drinking. It's got that sort of it's got complexities, but it's really nice and rounded at the same time. Well, excuse me. Specifically from a town called Wednesbury. Wednesbury. Fucking hell, can't speak. It's a bloody shithole. Join the club. Where I live, I don't want to be too harsh on my own town because I was born in Billinge, so I'm a wool anyway. I'm a woolly back anyway. Dad's side are from Liverpool and Wales. Mum's side are more from like Wigan. So got quite a unique background there. Seems a nice drop, he says. He says. That sounded very dismissive. I didn't intend to sound like that. Yeah, it's sort of like it's one of those ones where it's got a nice level of accessibility. Where it's not too funky, it's not too like farmhousey, horse blanket. You know, those yeasty esters don't really come out too much or overly so. But it's that citrusiness which I'm gonna obviously attribute to the Motica hop. It's gonna sound like not dissing it, but not exactly giving it a good sort of like description. Do you know when you've got a cold and you have hot honey and lemon? I'm getting that sort of vibe about it, but it's not like medicinal. Mind you, that's not really medicinal, is it? Because it's not a medicine, it's just honey and lemon. But that's what I'm sort of getting with this. And it's almost like if you warmed it up, which why would you? Well, Paul from Pierre Brew News might do that. It's almost like something you'd have at going back to Germany, like a German Christmas market. Yeah, it's like mulled character. But no, this is really nice, easy drinking. I'm going to drink it too fast and get acid reflux. I know it's going to happen. Luckily, we've got some San Miguel in the fridge to take the edge off. But yeah, it's not in your face. It's not, you know, demanding attention or anything like that. I'd imagine because it's been over, well, yeah, was it March, did I say? Yeah, over 2 years. It seems to have, I'm guessing, mellowed out really nicely. It's just a shame that some of the people involved in the brewery are reprehensible misogynists. And I shouldn't really say stuff like that because I don't fully understand the accusations. I've not really fully read into it. I've just seen the name pop up. So, yeah, anyway, we won't touch on that. Well, that's what they shouldn't have done. But let's see. Jimmy O says, I'm glad to hear that, sir. Please jump on Sunday. I need a break. You could be Peter 2.0. And don't listen to Exploring with Carl, sir. He's just a turbo nonce. I don't mind, Carl. Have you fell out with Carl? Is that the camaraderie of the lovable rogue? I like Carl. I like everyone who joins on the Jimmy O streams. Well, except a certain someone who has his own stream now. I'm not going to insult the person because I hardly know him. I just, from what I've seen on when he used to be on the streams, but yeah, I've never really been a big fan of him. I'm sure I could have got on with him when he was there, but I'm not going to talk shit on my stream because there are enough streamers out there who talk about shit about other people all the time. But yeah, I've got a lot of time and respect for Jimmy O. So you guys who are watching this and you want to watch some live streams that are a little bit on the nose sometimes, humour, which it's my sort of humour. There's no such thing as being politically correct on that stream. Some very interesting characters as well. Go check out the Jimmy O Show here on YouTube and go buy yourself a vest or a hoodie, and of course, buy him a coffee. But yeah, we'll definitely be popping on Sunday. Let's see. Goldrake says, "No worries, mate. LOL. This Perlenbacher has been affected taste-wise, so happy days. Hasn't been affected. Oh, very good to hear." Paul says, "Tasty warm. Thought you liked your body's cold." And I guess it's all about subtleties. Yes, that's what I would say. I mean, look at that. I mean, now I've poured in more from the bottom of the bottle. Mind you, it's only 375, so you know it's not an insane amount of beer. So see if we've got any of that. You see if it changes the beer somewhat. I mean, now it's looking more like a New England Pale or IPA. And I think Paul would definitely be an interesting addition to the Jimmy O live stream. If you want a rowdy American. But, I mean, Stuart, Real Ale Trail, Ginger Ale Trail's been on a few times talking about his horrendous activities with old ladies, but we won't talk about that. Okay. Changes completely once you've got it all in there. It's got more of that farmhouse character, as you would expect, because of all that yeast and the gubbins, and I'm sure there's like little particulates of the honey that would be residuals in there. What the fuck am I talking about? I don't know. It's a lot more softer, a little bit more bolder on the body. There's a real level of crispness to it. But yeah, that's changed considerably, actually. A little bit more funky. There's a little bit more of an aftertaste. It's that aftertaste with beers like this that I'm not the biggest fan of. That's why I'm not the biggest fan of Belgian beers, because it's always that aftertaste of the yeasts that they've used that I pick up upon. And a lot of the time, yeast does not agree with me, especially in the bowel area. But mind you, I think wheat beers give me the worst liquid shits of all the beer styles. But anyway, why are we talking about my toilet habits after a day of drinking? Possibly, says Paul. I think you and Jimmy would get on very well. And especially Will, the other American. Especially, we could talk about films. And Jimmy could get Lawrence R. Harvey onto a stream one day. Plenty of opportunities. Anyway. Yeah, that's a lovely, lovely beer indeed. For a certain way of brewing that I'm not the biggest fan of. But I like it when they do something a little bit different, when they add stuff to it, just to add an intrigue and twist. I think they've done it well without it going too much into that direction. And yeah, as Davos said, it's all about the subtleties, and it's just really nice, rounded, yet flavoursome and robust beer. But it's just a shame the socio-economic, political side of things is a little bit ugly at the moment. But hey ho, different people have different things to say about that. I'm just mopping up the floor with my sock, so you get a nice knee action there. But yeah, all in all, I'm glad I opened that. It would have been nicer to open it and share it with a couple of people, even though it's a smaller bottle, so the tasters would be quite small. But I think the bottle's small enough for one person to just sit and enjoy the beer. Probably take a little bit more time than I have with it because it's nearly finished now. But I drink my beers way too quickly. Quite a few breweries are in a bit of a pickle at the moment, it seems. Yes, some breweries who I'm very shocked about as well. But, again, a lot of it is... I think there are cases where there's enough people who've come forward about a specific brewery or person for there to be genuine validity to it. I'm not going to deny anyone's claims. I'm not going to do the whole victim shaming thing, which I've been seeing, which I think is really fucking disgusting. But there are some things where it's like, we need to know more before we, say or do something. And it's like one of those things, it's all well and good you saying, well, I'm going to boycott this brewery, which if you want to do that, I can definitely see why you would want to. But at the same time, it's like, it's a real shame for the people who were unaware of this stuff happening, who work for the breweries directly, or the bar staff, or the sales, or whatever. And you'll be taking money out of their pockets, but at the same time, you don't really want to support scummy people, really. And yeah, it's there's no clear cut sort of answer to it, really, is there? But if you've got a stance on it, you've got a stance on it. Whether I fully agree or disagree, that's that's really what it's about, really, isn't it? It's how you look at things, and as long as we're talking about stuff that needs to be talked about, then there's positives that can come from this. But yeah, there's some people who've been really badly affected by it, and my heart goes out to anyone who's ever had to experience some of the stuff that has come out. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy, and I'd really like to think that nobody I would know, and especially me personally, would ever be that way inclined with people. But that's the way the world is. It's an interesting, shitty place sometimes, but thankfully, there's a lot of good out there as well. I'll bid you good night, sir. Have a good one. Thank you, James. Have a wonderful evening. Enjoy your time off. And Goldrake says, yeah, it's like saying innocent proven guilty. Definitely. But then again, there's some people who are like, when someone says that, they're getting kicked off at because they're saying that. And it's like, well, that's the whole point of... That's how it works. You are innocent until you are proven guilty. But that's saying it's weird. It's weird. I was going to do a video on it, but there's just no way I could really articulate properly in the video without me sound like I'm taking this side or saying this or whatever. Because it's almost it's like modern day. It's like what it is nowadays, and it's like a minefield. You can be the most you can have the best intentions, but it can still blow up in your face if that one person takes whatever you've said completely out of context, or adds their own context to what you're saying. So you could be one of the good people, and a Freudian slip of the tongue, and next thing you know, you're kicked off Instagram, you're kicked off Twitter. You've got people like boycotting your public appearances and stuff like that. It's just not the way to go about things, because it just doesn't solve anything. But hey ho, we're not going to get too bogged down in that, because I'm gonna end the stream in a minute. Although I might be tempted to stay on for a little bit and crack open another beer. Maybe, we'll see. I probably will. Good evening, fella, said Adam. Says Adam. Good evening, Adam. Hope you had a wonderful time in Bristol, as did you, Craig. Oh, I've missed a comment there. Couldn't give a damn about the social, political inner workings of a brewery. There's a big part of me that is exactly the same, because I just want to drink a beer comfortably, minding my own business and having a good time. People were invested in some of the breweries. It's disgusting and disappointing. Yeah, that's very true. I am a horrible person. We know you are, Paul, but in the best possible way. And we wouldn't have you any other way. Bloody loudmouth calling drinker chavs walking down the road chanting England football themes whilst walking back from the pub, for fuck's sake. Are you sure you're not like down the street from me with your window open? Have you seen the new Jameson's cold brew whiskey? I haven't, but that does sound rather delicious. Raggy says, cold brew whiskey, yum. Yeah, that sounds good to me. If coffee tastes good in beer, I can only imagine what a cold brew whiskey would taste like. I want to try that stout one they did as well. But yeah, I think I'm going to have a slice of my garlic bread. Garlic bread isn't as satisfying to eat cold as pizza is. I got kicked out of a lot of places, but that's because people are weak. Yeah, you do find that a lot of the people who are shouting and pointing fingers, and this just in a general sense, they are weak-minded a lot of the time. Stout one is still on offer in Amazon for 20 quid. Might have to pick myself up a bottle if it's still on offer when I get paid. Mind you, I've still got that Jack Daniel's Distillers bottle, which I've hardly touched, because I realised it's been a couple of occasions now where I've gone to a friend's house, the same friend who's really into his whiskey, or started to get into his whiskey. He did me an old-fashioned a few weeks ago. I was just going about my business. I was enjoying me mini keg of Sonoma. Let's call the whole thing off. And I wasn't drinking that much because I was in work the next day. But I had one just drink of whiskey, and it didn't make me any more pissed than I would usually be. But I tell you what, the hangover was nothing like I've had for a hell of a long time. Just one drink of whiskey while I've been drinking just destroys me the next day. You should definitely have more beer. I think I will do, but I will have to abandon the stream for a couple of seconds while I get it out of the fridge. I was in the pub yesterday. Someone was scrapping, and 10 hooligan chavs got barred. That's the beauty of pubs whenever there's international football. Everyone's on the same side, but they somehow end up fighting. It's like we're all here to support the one team. our own country. Why are we getting mad at each other? I've got a thing for just getting like a really cheap like supermarket garlic bread, cooking it, and then putting hot sauce on it. You can't really see because it's soaked into the pizza, but I've got Frank's like triple X sauce, which isn't that spicy. But Frank's hot sauce has got a wonderful taste to it. Old fashioned has to have brown sugar and have a maraschino cherry on. It's just not right. Didn't have a maraschino cherry, but there was definitely brown sugar in there. One guy attacked the other guy just because he spilt his Carling by accident. That's mental. That's like the plot of one of the prisoners in that program, which is highly recommended. Time, that 3-part series on BBC starring Sean Bean and I forgot his name. He's one of my favourite actors of all time, Stephen Graham. One of the prisoners in that series, his story is he got into a fight in a bar because he didn't knock over someone's drink, but he picked up the wrong drinks and took a sip out of them. Easy mistake. You were missed in Bristol, you fool. Lots of pizza to be had, and you could have had a free lift there and back. I could have, and I regret. Should have pulled a sickie or used the last day of my grievance absence for that. But I think we would have had to stop. We would have had to have stopped at a lot of service stations on the way back because my bowels after drinking. No. Train toilets after a piss up on another part of the country have never been so comfortable or satisfying than when I'm on my way home from drinking the night before. And I really wouldn't want to shit myself in your car or vomit everywhere. Stephen Graham is a brilliant actor. I love him. The one thing that always gets me out of Stephen Graham that I don't get with many other actors, it's the way he cries. Because it's not like just like good crying when they're like, like that sort of acting. It's the way, it's the pre-cry that he does. He's got it mastered. He like sort of like, you do stuff with your mouth, really trying to compose yourself and stop yourself from crying. Every time there's a scene where Stephen Graham is trying not to cry, the tears come. He's a wonderful, wonderful actor. Even had a garlic bread with bacon and sausage. Sounds good to me. Just rewatched This Is England the other day. Brilliant film, and the TV show is also great. Yeah, I love that. Shane Meadows is just a genius in his own right. The best thing I've seen, the best thing for me that Shane Meadows done, it's a toss-up between Dead Man's Shoes, because Paddy Considine is an absolutely fantastic actor as well. Dead Man's Shoes, or that series that he did with Stephen Graham, The Virtues. That was a powerful piece of television. Let's see. I stopped twice on the way home. Once at a big Tesco and then at a Burger King services. Would that be for the same reasons, Adam? And just got that pictured in my head. Brill actor, yeah. But yeah, if you haven't done so already, watch Time. It's on iPlayer. And if you don't want to pay TV license, which I wish I didn't, then sneakily watch it and just make sure you don't get caught. You fool, says Paul. Not sure what he's alluding to. I've been called worse. by Paul whilst he's been doing worse things to me. Stephen Graham, a Kirby Hardman. Shane Meadows is Brill. I could only imagine the quality of a train's toilet. Yes, plus to refill afterwards, said Adam. Yeah. Mind you, I don't really have this thing about public toilets. If I need to go, I need to go. Watched Trainspotting again today for about the third time. Also another great film. Yeah. Danny Boyle, fantastic. Some of his more recent stuff I've not been the biggest fan of. But I'd say up to about 28 Days Later, just his filmmaking style. Fantastic. Evening, Peter. Missed the beer review. Proper hype juice, that, says Brian. Yeah, I mean, I don't usually... I would probably never go out my way to actually buy something like this unless I bought it with the intent of taking to a bottle share. But yeah, it was part of the beer club from 2019, the Mikkeller Beer Club. And I just kept it because I was like, I'm not going to open that bottle and just drink it. But it's good stuff. It really, really is. It complements the salinity of the garlic bread perfectly. I haven't watched Trainspotting 2 properly yet. Heard it's very disappointing. I didn't mind it, but it's just shot in such a clean, modern way. Whereas, to me, Trainspotting looks very similar the way it's filmed than 28 Days Later. 28 Days Later does. It's got this sort of purposefully lo-fi sort of feel to it, whereas that's the thing that I don't like about a lot of modern films is, and especially when it comes to the superhero films like DC and Marvel, you could just blend all of these films together and they could play out as one big film. Whereas, something like The Punisher's shot very differently to other properties. But yeah, it wasn't a bad film. It was interesting to see how the characters had developed. Robert Carlyle's character is really good in it. You wouldn't think Ewan McGregor's character was the same person now. He almost plays... I can't remember the name of the character he plays in Trainspotting. It's been a good long while since I've watched Trainspotting. But it's almost like he's a different character. I know he's supposed to have changed because it's years down the line. He's made a name for himself. But it's almost like Ewan McGregor's just playing a different character that just happens to be in a Trainspotting sequel. But yeah, I don't know. It's I tried to watch Slumdog Millionaire. I just found it so boring. It's all like what happened to Michael Winterbottom. 24-Hour Party People, masterpiece. The way it's put together, the way it's shot, it takes different sort of filmmaking styles. There's lots of fourth wall breaking, great use of video footage and then film footage. And then you look at his modern films, it's just he's just got a nice camera now, so it takes that sort of interesting aspect of his filmmaking completely out of it. Because if you've got a 4K camera, yeah, you can get absolutely gorgeous high-res shots, but they're not interesting like those films where you didn't have the best camera equipment, so you had to really depend on your own artistic vision, but also the people who you've made films with and worked with on your short independent stuff, where you've sort of had to... I sound so fucking pretentious and pompous right now, but I don't care. But yeah, it's sort of like where you have to adapt. You want to get that one shot. It's going to be an absolute pain in the ass to get it. So you're having to like wait till like a specific time in the morning. It's on a weekend where you were supposed to be doing something, but you thought, you know what, I need to get this shot for the film. Actors who aren't able to be there. You're having to persevere. And when you take that out of filmmaking, I've found people's films get a little less interesting because they don't have to worry about that. They can get someone on the job straight away who can, get that lighting shot rigged up perfectly. Or, yeah, we can completely shut off this street and that sort of stuff. Whereas you were like waiting for a quiet time on that street 10 years ago to get it. Sometimes it's not even the shot that you wanted, but it's an interesting shot nonetheless because it's something that just happened naturally. Whereas, like films now, I mean, that's not to say there aren't beautiful, interesting films and interesting filmmakers. I mean, Ben Wheatley for me is probably my favourite modern filmmaker. I was supposed to go see his latest film, in fact, in Liverpool, because he was doing a Q&A as well, but I just couldn't afford it, and I'm really gutted because I love Ben Wheatley. I love his style. I can't remember his wife's name. Is it Amy Smart or something like that? They just work so well together. But then again, something like High Rise, it looks completely different to something like Kill List, A Field in England, Sightseers. But at the same time, it's still got something interesting about it. It's weird. It's a hard thing. I'll never fully be able to explain myself properly, but I hope some people can at least get what I'm saying. I want to rewatch Dark Knight. Love that film. Also in the top 25. I like that because it was a brooding, moody film. And Christopher Nolan. Yeah, mega bucks, big blockbusters. But again, interesting filmmaking. Like the technical side of things. He'll never be able to not get a scene done because there'll always be money there. There'll always be the best people in the industry who we can work with. But it's still his sort of vision. And Tenet was amazing. I'm getting that thing now where I'm talking. I think dust is coming up and it's blocking my nose as I'm speaking. But yeah, Christopher Nolan's probably one of the fewer bigger directors who actually still make interesting films. Like James Cameron, he's such a boring filmmaker. And his most recent films have been really fucking boring. Ridley Scott was a really interesting filmmaker, but then became quite a boring filmmaker. Whereas Christopher Nolan, I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of all of his films, but at least there's like that sort of like artistry to it. Let's see. I ain't seen 24-Hour Party People. It's on my watch list, though. It's an awesome film. You don't even have to be interested about the subject matter. It's just the way that film's put together. I've never seen anything like it. It's just again, it's a film that I could talk about for hours on why I love it, but I'll never get to the core of why I think it's an amazing film. Remember Benidorm Comedy? I think a big reason that was ruined was because they went too clean. Early seasons felt like it was filmed on a camcorder on a holiday. Do you know what? I've never, as much as I'm a big fan of Steve Pemberton, I've never really watched like Benidorm fully. I've only ever seen like clips from the series, so I do need to actually go fully watch that. But yeah, Steve Pemberton and Reece Shearsmith, Inside Number 9. I'm in the middle of the new series that they've done. I was a big fan of League of Gentlemen. Mark, is it Gatiss or Gatiss? I can't remember how you pronounce his name. He's a fantastic writer. Knows his stuff. They all do. They all know the films. They all know they're like classic TV. But yeah, Benidorm. I think when that first came out, I was like, the subject matter seems so shit. It's not my sort of thing. But watching clips, it looks like it's genuinely funny. I'll have to look out for that with how it's sort of like filmed. But yeah, it's sort of like it gets to like clinical, if that makes not sterile. Oh, what's that? Where like sterilized? It's not. It's a word similar to that, but it's just like too cookie cutter and clear cut, if that makes sense. But yeah, because a couple of my friends are really big fans of Benidorm, and I am a big fan of Steve Penton, so I'll have to give it a proper watch. Ben Wheatley is brilliant. Love Peter Strickland too. Yeah, Peter Strickland. I loved Barbarian Sound Studio. I watched that for the first time at like 2 o'clock in the morning with all the lights off. Didn't intend to watch it like that. It was late, and I was like, oh, it's a film about a Foley artist who's doing basically the Foley work for an Italian Jello, and I was going through a big Jello phase at the time. So I never really knew who Peter Strickland was, but I'm a big fan of Toby Jones. I think he's a wonderful actor. And I watched that, and it's just like one of the most intense audio visual sort of experiences that I've had when it comes to film. I've got to say though, I wasn't a big fan of the Duke of Burgundy. It sort of had that same problem that I had with. Do you pronounce it AMER? Where it was too much style over substance, which I usually absolutely love. But I don't know. I just couldn't get into the Duke of Burgundy. I need to watch that one. Is it his most recent one, or has he done something since then? About was it the haunted? I can't remember what the title of the film's called, but it's about like a haunted dress or something like that. But I love how sort of like Euro horror Peter Strickland is. And he seems like a really intriguing person. Plus, broadcasts score for Barbarian Sound Studio is just fantastic. The sound design on that film is just wonderful. Ridley Scott was brilliant, but became shite. Yeah, it's a good show until about season 7. After that, it was pretty bad. Alien and Aliens 2, brilliant films by Ridley Scott, masterpieces. See, I love the original Blade Runner. That's a film that I'll always find tiny little things in that film that just blow me away. The fact that that film was made at the time that it was just always amazes me. Still need to see the new Blade Runner. I'm a big fan of the director who did the Blade Runner sequel. He's a true like cinematic visionary, and I hope he can maintain that the bigger he gets as a director. In Fabric, that's the one. Yeah, definitely. It's been a long time since I've watched any of the Alien films. I feel like I need to get myself a Blu-ray box set and just spend a night just watching those. I haven't watched 2049, but got it downloaded though. Just the screenshots are enough for me. And I just can't believe I've not got around to watching it. A director that I'm not a fan of at all, who makes some visually interesting films, is oh fucking hell, what's he called now? He did the Pusher films, which I've not seen. They seem really interesting because they look gritty as fuck. Oh, what's his name? He did Drive. Oh, that's going to annoy me, that. He annoys the shit out of me, him. Lars von Trier any day over that prick. I can't remember what his name is. That's going to annoy me. Yeah, I want a nice sort of like cheap Alien box set that's got quite a lot of features on it. Because I've always been interested in how, especially that film's made with the creature effects and the set design. Yeah, Nicholas Winding Refn. I mean, I enjoyed Drive. It was interesting. I think Ryan Gosling was great in that. But, sorry, I'm chewing on camera. But, yeah, him as a director, he just rubs me up the wrong way. He's like, oh, I know everything about this film. Like, oh. It's like trying to be Martin Scorsese when Martin Scorsese's in like documentaries about film. He got ripped to absolute shreds by William Friedkin in an interview, though. That was funny. Same here. There are so many like classic films within genres that I love that I've just never seen. Which I suppose it's good because you'll always have something new and interesting to watch. But yeah, Nicholas Winding Refn does my absolute fucking head in that one. So if you can just bear with me for a couple of minutes, I will get myself another beer. And I've never seen 12 Angry Men before. And I need to rectify that. So I'll be as quick as I possibly can be. Thank you for waiting there, folks. 12 Angry Men is brilliant. I remember watching that first time and just being completely glued to the screen and afterwards amazed. I love it when I come across a film like that. Something that just resonates with you after you finish watching it. But that's one of those classics that I've always had on my list to get around to watching, but it always seems like you put a shitty film in front of these films that you want to watch. But yeah, lovely stuff. Lovely stuff. I'd like to try the original version of Anna at some point. Stupid to San Miguel, which tastes much better in can than it does on tap. And for some reason, it's gushing. Mind you, that can is dented to fuck, so I think that's happened fairly recently, to be honest. Oh well. So we'll just mop that up with my foot. But yeah, I won't stay on for too much longer, but I'm enjoying this film discussion. Can't go wrong with a bit of cheeky San Miguel. Yeah, there's just something satisfying about these. I've never been one to sort of like look down on different sorts of beers. People like what they like. People want to drink what they want to drink. People want to eat what they want to eat. Do you know what I mean? And when it's barbecue weather, yeah, I mean, you could treat yourself to like a 70 quid beer haul with IPAs and have them with your barbecue. But I can't be arsed with that. I just want to drink, eat, have a good time, share stories. And I think stuff like this is the perfect sort of beer, to be honest. It's no Bud Light, though, which is a little bit annoying. Need to get myself a proper crate of Bud Light. But yeah. Exactly. Exactly. I'm putting that up. There's something really satisfying about supermarket garlic bread. This is the stone baked Iceland one. Good evening, mate. How's you? Says Steve. Good evening, Steve. Not doing too bad, thank you. Hope you're doing well, sir. I know you've been going through a few things recently, but I hope you're keeping your chin up. And I hope you had a lovely weekend. Always a pleasure to see you, Steve. I always go in the charity shops and look for Blu-rays. Sometimes got some bargains. Yeah, definitely. I've not picked up anything really decent cheap-wise recently. But I used to love just spending a day going to different, like HMV, FOP, cash converters, CEX, popping into a cheeky charity shop, that sort of thing. That was when I was like really heavy into the whole DVD and Blu-ray collecting sort of stuff, which I'm slowly getting back into. Bought some good stuff recently. Got the that Camera Obscura Borovchek box set from Pop, which has like 5 of his films. Very interesting director. But yeah, you can pick up some proper bargain out of print stuff. A lot of it, if you're shrewd, has a good resale value. I think I would agree with that. It's not my favourite De Niro film, but it does resonate. And I think his performance in that is just top draw. He says, I'm good, matey. Yeah, always a pleasure too, mate. I'm getting there. Thank you, matey. No problem at all, Steve. You'll get there in the end. Hope the new house isn't giving you too much trouble. Really excited to see what you do with the shed as well. I still need to watch Irishman properly. Always keep watching it, but never properly. I have it. Puts a lot of people to sleep. Yeah, I really want to pick up that Criterion release of that, but I just can't. I can't justify spending Criterion prices. Like, I get it. They're like one of the higher echelons of, I suppose, if you could use that word, of like the film preservationists and putting out films with really great releases. But to me, the price used to be justified because you could only get them from America. So when they started like to do Criterion releases in the UK, and you're not paying that much less than like the really hard to find American stuff, it's just like I don't really want to pay like 20 quid and upwards for a film that's just in a standard Blu-ray case with a little booklet. When I think of Criterion, I think of like their cardboard slip cases with like chunky like encyclopedia sized booklets. So I don't know, just some of the prices. Although in the Manchester CEX, you could tell someone had offloaded their Criterion collection, but even still, it was still pricey what they were charging in there. Although that being said, one of my prized possessions, which isn't really that hard to find because you can get an uncut Blu-ray release here in the UK from BFI, is my DVD copy of Sallow, the Criterion release. It's just gorgeous, the way it's presented, and yeah, I don't know, Criterion, I love them. Some of the films they bring out. I mean, how much would you love to, be part of that, in the Criterion covers where you're just helping yourself to these films and talking about them? Fucking heaven. But it's just pricey. Let's see. What's your favourite film by Scorsese? That's a tough one. See, it's going to sound so basic, but I've always loved Goodfellas. There's just something about that the performances from everyone involved, and I think it stems from when I first watched it when I was a kid. You're like a bit edgy watching Scarface and Goodfellas. But there's still a lot of his films that I've yet to actually watch. I really like Mean Streets as well. I'm starting the shed on Friday next week. Was thinking about doing a bar, but now it's a bar/brewery. Very nice. That says, interesting experiment. I'm drinking almost 1 year old New England IPA. That's whole time in my cooler. Fruitiness did fade remarkably, but bitterness survived with pleasant cannabis notes. Interesting. What New England IPA was that? It's £20.79 on Amazon currently. Yeah, I'm probs with you on that, to be fair. Yeah, I just don't really want to pay that much for one film. Have you seen The Sopranos? I remember watching that when it was still on TV. It was more towards like the later seasons. I just loving it. But yeah, I think I must have watched like the mid sort of few seasons and then just stopped. So that's another thing that I've been meaning to do is watch The Sopranos from the beginning, revisit The Wire. But yeah, The Sopranos, I used to love when I was on Channel 4. And sitting like watching that with me dad. Bloody love Sopranos. Yeah, man, there's just so much that I need to revisit and actually watch, like you brought up earlier. But it's doable. I'm thinking of doing. When I was part of the movie collecting and watching community on YouTube, a guy called Ryan Chataway started a challenge called the 24-hour movie marathon, where there'd be like 7 sort of categories, like a film that's over 3 hours long, a film from a certain decade, a film that you used to hate, but will give another try, that sort of thing, all over the 24 hours. And I need to do that. I might just do that with all the stuff, or a selection of stuff that I've been meaning to watch, been meaning to revisit, or stuff that I just want to start again. I'm watching away at the moment. Peaky Blinders amazing, based in my area too. Cillian Murphy is a great actor. Yeah, see, I've not even watched Peaky Blinders yet. There's just like a phase where I just wasn't watching any TV, any movies. I was just watching stuff on YouTube. I do like Cillian Murphy. He's in A Quiet Place too, isn't he? I'm not seeing A Quiet Place 1. Yeah, that's very true. I mean, I've been buying quite a lot of like DVDs and just Blu-rays recently, and like they're going on like a very small mountain of stuff that I've been buying in the past few months that I've not watched. It's just crazy. I always make the mistake of going to watch a film at like around this time when I'm usually going to bed, and I'm just stopping watching it halfway through. Yeah, because maybe someone might go watching Quiet Place 2, but I haven't watched the first one yet. I really want to see that new Saw film as well, with Chris Rock and Samuel L. Jackson. Is it called like From the Book of Saw, and then it's got its own title. It's from a local brewery, Lobik Baby Yoda 2000, 7% ABV, canned on the 23rd of June 2021. Just because I don't think I could even forget about beer for that long. It just end up getting drunk. Fargo or No Country for Old Men? I'm saying No Country for Old Men. That's a good one, that. That's a good one. Coen Brothers, I like their sort of drama mixed with comedy. Tongue in cheek, but gets really serious. Then again, No Country for Old Men has some really funny bits in there. I'm going to say Fargo just because I've watched it more times than I've watched No Country for Old Men. Being the fact that I've only watched No Country for Old Men once, but really, really enjoyed it. But yeah, still need to see the series of Fargo, because it's like in series 4 or something now, isn't it? But yeah, Javier Bardot is his name in No Country for Old Men. It's just fantastic. Bardem, not Bardo. I have too much beer at some point. I'll just end up drinking it, to be honest. I'm really bad at like trying to keep beer to the side. The only stuff that I don't like open is like really heavy, sort of like bigger bottles that I always intend to save for bottle shares and stuff. Yeah, I like Steve Buscemi. I like him a lot in Fargo. I just love the accent of the characters in Fargo. Plus, William H. Macy's really funny in that film. But Steve Buscemi's a great actor. Right, folks. It is now approaching about half past. This watch is so wrong. 10:30. I'm going to cut this stream off here, but I've been really enjoying the conversation that we've been having. Goldrake, I'm not sure if you've been watching any of the Libido Mania stuff, which is all film related, but I'm going to be doing it next week. I'm going to be doing my top 10 films that I own. It's not a top 10 films of all time because I don't like talking about films where I can't physically show. So I hope you come join me for the film stuff because I love a good film discussion. Davo, I'd like to hear more about some of your beer experiments as well. And thank you to everyone else who joined as well. It started off as just being a beer review, but then it ends up being a full-blown chat. I really enjoy it. I love doing these live streams, and I will be uploading some more beer reviews over the next week or so. That's it. I'm going to actually spend a day just uploading and scheduling beer reviews to go up. You may see some sort of film reviews going up as well because I've been to the cinema a few times in the past couple of months, watched some interesting stuff and some stuff on TV as well. So I want to keep the channel about beer and film and TV. So yeah, massive thank you for keeping me company on this Monday evening. You can tell I'm getting warm because my hair just becomes a ball when it's not cut. And I need to get that sorted. I look like I'm from fucking the Claxons, or I've got a very receding hairline. Yeah, thank you for joining me, Davo. Thank you for joining me, Goldrake. Thank you, as always, for joining me, James, as well. Hope you enjoyed it. I want to do another Bitter End review live stream, but we'll have to get that sorted as well. Nice talk for the first time, mate. I'll drop you a follow on Instagram. Oh, a pleasure. Glad you stopped by. Always good to meet like-minded people, and I very much look forward to more film-related discussions in the future. And thank you to everyone who's joined me tonight. A bit of an off-the-cuff last-minute stream, talking about a beer by brewery who we don't really want to talk about at the moment. But I bought that before the sexism. So, well, I didn't even buy it. It was part of a beer box, so I'm not complicit in that. I'm not problematic. But anyway, joking aside, shouldn't really joke about stuff like that. But hey ho, it is what it is. Anyway, thank you all for stopping by. Thank you all for watching. And yeah, if you tried that beer, if you were part of the Mikkeller Beer Club, let me know what some of your favourite beers were. This is more for the people who were watching the playback. Graciously save myself from burping on camera then. Anyway, thank you for watching, folks. I've always been terrible at ending live streams. You know it by now. But I always appreciate you guys watching. And I've got a very numb ass because I'm sat on the floor. Curious about your next Rampant Line joint review. It's going to be Pilsner Urquell. And it's going to happen when I can actually go get some Pilsner Urquell. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to actually doing more streams with James because I really liked the Celebrator. Was it Celebrator? Yeah, that's Iyengar. Celebrator review. Anyway, see you, folks. You all take care. I'm not sure when that will be happening, Davor. It should be happening within the next week. So if I can get to a supermarket and just pick up like a six pack of the small cans, then I'll definitely do that. Anyway, thanks for watching. Cheers all. You all take care. Enjoy the rest of your week. And hopefully you'll join me next time when I go live. Thanks for watching. You all take care. Stay safe. Just repeat to myself. But that's the way it is. And that's the way it goes. And I might have another beer after this. I don't know. We'll see.